So let's continue on to factoring polynomials. So how do you factor polynomials? So factoring polynomials starts with, so in this lecture we'll try to start with the greatest common factor. We call it the GCF of the polynomial, and then we'll see how to factor a trinomial first, and we'll see all the methods of factoring. So the first method is grouping. The second method is the perfect square trinomial by perfect squares, and 3 is difference of squares, and 4 we'll see sum and difference of cubes, and at last by using fractional or negative exponents. So let's start with the first one, GCF of the polynomial. So GCF is the short form for the greatest common factor. So what is the greatest common factor? So for example, when you take two numbers, let's say for example I take the numbers 16 and 20, and if I want to find GCF, what does it mean? So the name itself says what it means. It's the greatest common factor for both the variables. So what is the number, the greatest number that you can divide both the numbers by and still get an actual integer without having a remainder 0? For example, when you split them into their individual factors, you get 4 times 4, 20 gets 4 times 5. You can also write 2 times 8, and this becomes 2 times 10. And you have 1 times 16 and 1 times 20. So these are the common factors that you see. In all of them, what is the greatest common factor that you see in all the variables? The common factors are 1, 1, 2, 2, and 4 and 4. So there are 3 common factors, 1, 2, and 4. Among these, which is the greatest one? Greatest one is 4. So this is the GCF. So which means when you divide 16 by 4 and 20 by 4, you still get an actual number with a remainder 0. So you can actually still divide the numbers and still end up having an actual number with the remainder being 0. This is called as the GCF. Now GCF for a number becomes easier when you think about the number itself. But how do we do it for a polynomial? Let's take an example. So what are the steps that we need to get out of a polynomial? So the first step is to identify the GCF of the coefficients. So first thing, we have to identify the GCF of the coefficients. Number 2, identify the GCF of variables. And number 3 is combine to find the GCF of the expression. And number 4 is to determine what we get when we divide each monomial with the GCF, and finally write the factored expression. So let's take an example and do this part by part. So let's say I have an expression 6x cube y cube plus 45x square y square plus 21xy. So we are looking for the GCF of 3 variables. So split them into variables and constants. So the variables are 6, 45 and 21. The variables are x cube, y cube, x square, y square, and xy. So for 6, 45, and 21, what is the common GCF? So if you split them into their individual factors, so you get 15 times 3, you get 7 times 3. So you get 1 times 6, you get 9 times 5, and 1 times 21. So, and 45 can also be written as 3 times 15 and 9 times 5. So that's the only way we can write the entire expression. So among these, what are the common factors? So the common factors are 1, so which is generally common for every number, and we also have 3. So that's the only common factor that we see here. So you 3 and 1. So which is the greatest among them? 3. So this becomes the GCF. Next, how to find the GCF of a variable? So look at the variable itself and take the least degree of that variable. So least power variable becomes the GCF. For example, you have x cube, take x part, x cube, x square, and x. So among them, the least power is x. So the first variable x becomes the separate part. Next, y cube, y square, and y. So the least variable is y. So xy is the GCF of the variable. And 3 here is the GCF of the constants. Now combine both of them. So 3xy. So this is the GCF of the expression. So we have the GCF of the expression. So what do you do with that GCF of that expression? So take the value. So you have 6x cube, y cube plus 45 x square, y square plus 21 xy. Divide each of these individual expressions with the GCF. So you have 6x cube, y cube over 3xy, 45 x square, y square by 3xy, 21 xy divided by 3xy. So when you go x, y, y, so if you don't want to do that, let me do it in a separate method. So this becomes 3 1s, 3 2s, 3 1s, 3 15s, 3 1s, 3 7s. Next, 2 into x cube by x becomes x square, y cube by y becomes y square, and you write 15, and x square by x becomes x, so 15 xy, and the last one xy are gone, so you get 7. Now write down the expression in this way. Write down the GCF in one parenthesis, and in the second parenthesis write the individual factors that you have divided it and found. So which is 2x square, y square plus 15xy plus 7. This is how you factor using the GCF. So I hope you understand this. So try another problem on your own. So try this one, x into b square minus a plus 6 into b square minus a. So try to pull out the GCF first and try to find out the actual answer, final answer. So next, let's continue, and in this one let's try factoring the trinomials. So if you remember, a trinomial is the general form of a trinomial is ax square plus bx plus c. So this is an example of a trinomial. So even a is not required, just x square plus bx plus c. Now the problem here is that whenever you want to do a trinomial, let's take a simple example. Let's say I have x square plus 5x plus 6. In this you end up with a GCF of 1. You can try it, but you end up with a GCF of 1, because this is the common GCF that you end up with always. So, but we do know that when you multiply x plus 2 times x plus 3, you still end up with the same expression as above. But how to make this and factor it into the individual values? So the way to factor this is what we are gonna look at. So the idea here is that we are gonna take x square plus bx plus c and convert it into the form x plus p into x plus q, such that pq becomes equal to c and p plus q becomes equal to b. So this is the idea behind how to factor a trinomial. But let's continue with the process and let's try to find out what are the chances that we can do this. But can we do it for every trinomial? So the answer generally is no. So it's only possible for some trinomials. So the trinomials that cannot be factored are called prime trinomials. So let's try and factor a trinomial. So how do you factor a trinomial? Let's take a simple example and I'll show you how the steps work. So I have x square minus 2x plus 15. So the first step is to multiply the first term and the last term. So 15 times x square. So that gives you a total of 15x square. Now you have to split it in such a way, or you have to factor it in such a way that the addition or subtraction leads you to negative 2x. So understand again, split it into two parts in such a way that either by addition or subtraction you end up with minus 2x. So the first thing, again, we will split x separately part. Next, once we split x, now we want to split the number 15. So what are the factors, or how can you write 15 as? 15 can be written as 3 times 5. So 15 can also be written as, I'm sorry, the problem is originally plus 2x minus 15. So this is negative 15x square. Now we know that there is a negative in the answer, which means only one of them should be negative. So remember this again, if the negative is there on the value, then there is only one negative x that requires here. So now when you want to get a negative answer, which means that the larger number should be negative. So when you look at 3 and 5, notice that when you add 3 and 5 you get 8, but when you subtract 3 and 5 you get 2. So now you know that there is a value that gives you that answer 2. So take that as the value. So you are splitting them into 2 and 5. So 3 and 5. So the larger number is 5. So get the larger number to be negative and 3x. Here we are adding negative 5x plus 3x. So we are going to replace this negative 2x in this problem by negative 5x plus 3x. So you write x square minus 5x plus 3x minus 15. So take x out, you get x minus 5, plus take 3 common, that gives you x minus 5. So x minus 5 is common, so take x minus 5 common, that gives you x plus 3. So this is how you can split it. So this is the idea behind the way we split the problem. So I hope you understand this. So let's try another problem and see if we can solve that. Let's say I have x square plus 5x plus 6. So in this, again, the first step is to multiply the first term and the last term. So you get 6x square. Notice that the value is positive. So, and the middle value is plus 5x. So both of them are positive then. Now, so split x. Now we have to split 6 in such a way that when you add them, you get plus 5x. So 6 can be written as 1 times 6, can also be written as 2 times 3. When you add 1 plus 6, you get 7. But when you add 2 plus 3, you get 6. So sorry, you get 5. Now, so we know that 2 and 3 are the factors. So write 2 here and 3 here. So 2x plus 3x. So we're going to replace plus 5x with 2x plus 3x. So x square plus 2x plus 3x plus 6. So take x out, x common in the first two variables. So ex plus 2 plus, take 3 common, you get ex plus 2. Notice that what you take common, when you go multiply back, you should get the same value. Again, x plus 2 and x plus 2 are common again, so take x plus 2 out. That gives you x plus 3. So this is the factors that you can split it into: x plus 2 into x plus 3. Now try this problem. So try x square minus 7x plus 6. Again, the procedure stays the same, so make sure to get the correct values. So once you get the correct factors, you should get it easily. So let me give you a hint. So again, we are going to do 6x square, but this time we need negative 7x. But notice that the original number is positive, so which means that when you multiply, you should get positive, which means both are negative here. So both are negative x and negative x. So that's why when you add them, you get negative 7x, but when you multiply them, you get plus 6x. Now 6 can be written as 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. When you add 2 and 3, you get 5. When you add 1 and 6, you get 7. So we know that we need 1 and 6. So minus 1x minus 6x. So you're going to write minus 7x as minus x minus 6x. So replace minus 7x here with minus x minus 6x and try to find the answer. So that is how you do the process of factoring trinomials. Next. So the next process is factoring by grouping. So how do you factor by grouping? So let's take a variable, the general trinomial ax square plus bx plus c. So the first step, so what are the common steps that we do? First, so list the factors for AC. I'm sorry, I think this is the same thing that we did before. Next, let's factor a perfect square. So generally perfect squares are generally valid for trinomials. So we are going to do a perfect square trinomial. So remember the two formulas: a plus b whole square is a square plus 2 times a times b plus b square. A minus b whole square is a square minus 2 times a times b plus b square. So let's say if we have a certain variable, for example, let's say I have 25x square plus 20x plus 4. How can I write it? How can I know whether this is a perfect square trinomial? Is first check the first term and the last term and check if you can write it as a perfect square. So notice that 25 can be written as 5 square, x square is already a square, plus 4 can be written as 2 square. Now, so plus in the mid part, try to find its factors. So 20 can be written as 4 times 5, so 4 can be written as 2 times 2 times 5. Notice that the factor that you are using, a and b, are in the values or not. So a and b, and there is a 2 there. So 20x can be written as 2 times 2 times 5 times x. So which means that this entire variable can be written as 5x whole square plus 2 times 5 times 2. So let me write it as 2 times 5x times 2 plus 2 square. So we can simplify this as the a and b. So this value is a and this value is b. So we know that we can write it as a plus b whole square. So this is the formula for a plus b whole square. So a here is 5x and b here is 2. So you get 5x plus 2 whole square. That's your answer for the value. So let's try another problem. Let's say I have 2x square. So let's say I have 49x square minus 14x plus 1. Again, the first rule is try to check the first term and the last term are perfect squares or not. So we know that 49x square can also be written as 7x whole square, because 7 square is 49, x square is x square. And the first term is 1 square. 1 can also be written as 1 square. Next, so confirm the product inside is twice the value of AB. So the value inside is minus 14x, and we are looking at 2AB. So minus 2AB here. So let me not write the minus symbol. So 2 times A here is 7x and B here is 1. So 7x into 1. So that's 14x again. So notice that both values are the same, which means that this is an example of a perfect square. So what you can do now is you can write it as A plus A. Notice that there is a minus in the middle, so which means it's an A minus B whole square formula. So you get 7x minus 1 whole square. So this is how you can write the formula value. So try another problem. So try this problem and try to see if you can factor it, right? So the hint here, notice that 9x square can also be written as 3x whole square, and 18x can be written as 2 into 9 into 1. So try to find out the actual answer. Next. So the next one is to factor using the difference of squares. Let's say if you have a value of 9x square minus 25 is an expression. How do you find the difference of squares is to check both the variables if they are perfect squares. 9x square can be written as 3x whole square minus 25 can be written as 5 square. So this is similar to a square minus b square, but we do know that the formula for a square minus b square is a plus b times a minus b. So here a represents 3x and b is 5. So you can write this as 3x plus 5 times 3x minus 5. So the value for 9x square minus 25 can be written as 3x plus 5 into 3x minus 5. Next. Try another example on your own. So this time right now 81y square minus 100. Notice that 81y square can be written as 9y whole square and 100 can be written as 10 square. So try it on your own. Pause the video right here and try to solve the problem. Next. Next one is to factor using the sum and the difference of cubes. So for this we'll use two formulas. One is a cube plus b cube, which can be written as a plus b times a square minus ab plus b square. The other is a cube minus b cube, which can be written as a minus b times a square plus ab plus b square. So how can we do this as a problem? So the first thing is to, whenever they give you a sum, try to split it in that format. So notice that if the first one is the same, the second one becomes negative. If the first one is the same, the second one becomes the opposite. So this is how we can do this. So one way of factoring the cubes, for example, let's say if they give you a problem of x cube plus 512. So one way of knowing whether 512 is a cube is to split it into its factors. So 512 can also be written as 8 cube. So if you can write it, you can write it as x cube plus 8 cube. Again, a is x here and b is 8. So we know the formula is a plus b into a square minus ab plus b square. So a square is x square. So a plus b is x plus 8 into a square is x square minus a into b is x into 8, which is 8x, plus b square is 8 square, which is 64. So this is how we can factor using perfect cubes. And so let's do the last one. which is factoring using fractional and negative exponents. Let's say in a problem, so the problem is given as 3x times x plus 2 whole power negative 1 by 3 plus 4 times x plus 2 power 2 by 3. So one way of doing this is to look at the terms itself and try to figure out how to do this problem. So what you can do here is notice the common term in both of them and try to split out the common term. Notice the common term is x plus 2, but the power is different. So what we can do here is we can multiply and divide values. That is one method. The other method is to try to take the value itself as the constituent value. So these problems are not in our syllabus as of now, so we are not going to pursue this part of the factoring. So you don't need to learn this factoring part. So just skip this topic for your course.